Mr. Mohammed Umar, Minister of Education and President of the Iraqi National Commission for لايسيسكو and UNESCO, Dr. Abdulaziz Sultan Al-Tujri, Director General of the Islamic Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, Dr. Hasinan Abdul-Mullah, Secretary General of the Iraqi National Commission and Vice President of the Executive Board of the Islamic Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, distinguished Secretary Generals of National Commissions, Excellencies, Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here with you today on the occasion of the first high-level Islamic conference on Baghdad, Dar es-Salaam and religions. I believe this is a historic conference. We have come together to stand with the people of Iraq for national unity and peace on the basis of respect for human rights and dignity. This is a symbol of our commitment to these goals. This is a symbol of the close partnership between UNESCO and لايسيسكو. This was expressed in the joint statement we issued on the 7th of March with Dr. Abdulaziz Sultan Al-Tujri, Director General of لايسيسكو, to condemn the attacks against Qatar, the capital of the first Arab kingdom in Iraq. This followed the destruction of invaluable cultural objects at the Mosul Museum and bulldozing of the ancient Assyrian city of Nimrud. With Dr. Abdulaziz Sultan Al-Tujri, we condemn the destruction of Qatar as a turning point, a direct attack against the history of Islamic Arab cities. Today, we take this partnership in support of the government and people of Iraq a step further. Today, in Baghdad, we pledge our commitment to do everything we can to stop this destruction. The stakes are high. Along with the deep humanitarian crisis, we see unprecedented cultural cleansing in Iraq. We see the systematic persecution of people on ethnic and religious grounds. We see efforts to eliminate the diversity and culture of coexistence that has always been the DNA of this country. We see the intentional destruction of irreplaceable landmarks. We see the systematic looting of Asian cities for illicit trafficking to finance extremist groups. These are attacks against the people of Iraq, against their identities, against their history. These are attacks against the shared history of all humanity. It was the Abbasid ruler, Al-Mansur, who gave Baghdad the name Dar al-Salam, House of Peace, at a time when Baghdad was a capital of the Islamic Golden Age. The history of Iraq is one of constant dialogue between different peoples and communities across all religion and cultural lines. This is a history of profound cultural tolerance around religious and cultural diversity. This history belongs to all of us, and it is our responsibility to defend it from all challenges. Safeguarding Iraq's cultural heritage and diversity is essential to the future of the country and to our collective human history. We must stand up against forces that seek to divide Iraq because they attack the humanity we all share, the values and aspirations we hold in common. This is why, Mr. Prime Minister, I went to Baghdad and Erbil last November, and this is why I'm here once again today. In this struggle, I believe the partnership between UNESCO and لايسيسكو has never been so important. The opening line of the لايسيسكو Charter is deeply inspiring. Believing that Islam, a religion of peace and tolerance, represents a way of life and a spiritual, human, moral, cultural, and civilizational force which made and is still making constructive contribution towards the shaping of the Islamic world and the development of human civilization. This conviction underpins our joint efforts to respond to the needs of societies, especially young women and men, for quality education, for social inclusion, for civic engagement. This idea guides all of UNESCO's action. It guides also our leadership in the International Decade for the Rapprochement of Cultures. And this conviction inspired the launch last year of the Foundations of Islam in the UNESCO collection, The Different Aspects of Islamic Culture. It guides our action to rebuild the mausoleums of Mali, to safeguard cultural heritage in Syria, Iraq and Libya, to fight against illicit trafficking of cultural artifacts and thus finance extremism. This is the spirit of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2199, which forbids the trade of cultural artifacts originating from Syria, already in place for Iraq since 2003. We must act across the board to stop cultural cleansing. We are preparing to launch a global coalition for culture and heritage to implement United Nations Security Council Resolution 2199 and step up international efforts to protect cultural heritage at risk during conflict. Today, I will launch a new Unite for Heritage campaign with young women and men at the University of Baghdad to counter the propaganda of violent extremism. This is why we work so closely with experts from Iraq and many other countries, along with intergovernmental and non-governmental partners, including Interpol, the World Customs Organization, museums, auction houses. This is why I have alerted the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, because attacks against culture and heritage are war crimes and must be treated.
ومشاهدينا الكرام، نكتفي بهذا القدر من جانب من المؤتمر النوعي الأول للمنظمة الإسلامية للتربية والثقافة والعلوم اللايسيسكو. شكرا لكم.